Hey guys, what's up? I hope everyone is doing great, and if not, that's also fine. It's okay to not feel or be great. Things will get better, and you will find yourself in a better place. Soon or not soon, everything is actually alright. Whenever you're feeling like you are stuck in a bad place, always remember that things can always get worse and they always can get better, and it's just a temporary thing. Usually, even though sometimes it feels like it's forever, it is not. It's like any feeling, basically. They come and go. It's like thoughts. They come and go. They pop into your system. Usually, they are thoughts that take form as emotions in your body or feelings in your body. And when you are starting to pay attention to everything that you're experiencing, you will see and you will start to notice that it's a fleeting thing. Like sometimes it feels like you're constantly anxious or constantly sad or constantly depressed, but when you actually like really pay attention, sometimes there's this small little moments where you don't feel anxious or depressed, and when you can catch yourself in those moments, then realize, okay, these feelings, I can build on those, I can make them bigger, I can make them larger by finding out which things are making you feel like that. Maybe you were just a moment distracted by a bird that flew by, or a nice piece of music, or a smile of a stranger on the street. Whatever it is, there are things that temporarily make you feel a little bit better. And if you start to notice those things and you start to pay more attention to them, and you add them to a list, and then you try to look for it more and more, then you will see that your mood will be improved on a daily basis with small steps and small little bits and pieces. And these will add up over time, and they will actually cause you to, there's lots of mosquitoes here, cause you to change your overall feeling, your overall mood, your overall thinking pattern. But you have to condition yourself. You have to condition your mind to look for the things that make you feel good. And you have to learn to pay attention to what makes you feel good, because that is a skill in and of itself. Paying attention to what makes you feel good is not easy, because we usually go about it mindlessly. We don't really notice, oh, this actually was very nice, or I feel better afterwards. And if you condition your mind to learn to pay more attention to that, you can then, one, be more aware and feel more happy because of that. And two, you can then remember and write it down and look for it deliberately whenever you're feeling in a more negative mood. Because like the, the reason I do the air quotes is the negative mood. Is it really negative, right? Because whenever you're feeling sad or anxious or fearful, depressed, it's just a way of your body to communicate to you, hey, we're finding ourselves in a place that is not conducive to our well-being, so you gotta change something, especially when it's keeping like dragging on for like it seems forever. Then you really need to start to pay attention to it, and you gotta try to figure out ways to do whatever you're doing differently, albeit trying to be more active, move around more, talk with people, try out different things, figure it out for yourself. Like, you never know until you try, right? So keep an open mind and try to look for the things that make you feel a little bit better, and then like go explore those a little bit more. Maybe if you see a smile from a stranger, maybe it's about the human connection that you miss, something about that you miss, then reach out to friends, or go talk to someone in the street, whatever it is. Like, try to be creative and be curious, and find your own ways, and you will, I'm sure you will find them for 100%. If you make it conscious decision to go look for things that make you feel better, you will find them, 100% guaranteed. You just have to make the commitment to actually like do it and want to do it, right? Because it can feel kind of comfortable to be in this negative, sad, depressed state. It's a comfortable place. You don't have to challenge yourself or challenge your beliefs or your thoughts. And one thing that I found particularly difficult is the fact that you will have to admit to yourself, okay, I have been kind of keeping myself in this negative space for so many days, months, weeks, years, whatever, right? To admit that to yourself and then to decide, okay, no more, and to let go of the fact that you wasted so much time, because it's not really a waste, because you needed that time to come to this realization that, hey, I've been stuck here for so long now and I don't want this anymore, right? So it takes exactly the right amount of time for you to want to get out of it, right? So don't beat yourself up for it. But it's hard to admit it to yourself, like, oh shit, I've actually kept myself in this place for so long. How can I justify that towards myself, right? Like, oh, it's like the confirmation, it's like the sunken cost bias, which actually states that people tend to continue putting more effort or time or money into something that they already committed to in the past, right? Like it's for instance, like if you have an investment or something and you see the price go down, but you already put in like so much money. It's this the example they usually give is like a project. They were building a real estate project or something, and they poured in maybe €500,000, and it seems like it's not gonna take off, whatever. But they keep pumping money into it because they already had pumped in so much money before, so they don't want to let go of it, because that would mean that the initial investment of 500,000 would be a waste. But the thing that people tend to forget is that every additional dollar you put in the project is more loss, more waste. So you might pump in another million and then you lose 1.5 million instead of just 500,000, right? Instead of just deciding, okay, it's not going to work, let me pull out now and then I can cut the losses as much as possible. It's the same thing. If you realize that, oh, you put so much time and energy into keeping yourself in this negative space, then whenever you realize, oh shit, I actually did this myself, kind of, right? There can always be external circumstances, but it's only you who has the power to change your inner state, to change your thoughts, the way you think about stuff, right? I mean, everybody goes through difficult times. Everybody faces difficult circumstances, people dying, hunger, loss, whatever, like breakups, cheating. Everybody deals with these things at some point in their lives. Everybody, including you, including me, everyone. So it's not about the circumstances, it's about your own personal responsibility, your take on things, the way you deal with it. And this is a very like Stoic philosophy, the Stoics, the old Greeks, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius. I highly recommend you check out their work because it's very, very profound. And they had this attitude that the only thing you can actually change is your own personal take on things, right? You can not control the external circumstances, but you do control your own thoughts about it, your own attitude towards the difficult times, right? So whenever you realize, like, hey, I have actually been keeping myself in this place for so long, then you tend to want to stay there, because of it would mean that, oh, I wasted so much time. I cannot give up on it now. But you actually can give up on it, like 100%. The sooner, the quicker you do it, the more losses you cut, like, the more days you don't spend in this whole negative state of mind. It's better, it's just better. It's just hard to admit to yourself that, okay, I've kept myself here for so long now, and now finally I don't want to do that anymore, and I consciously, deliberately decide to get out of here. Forgive yourself for taking that time, because it was precisely the amount of time you needed to realize that you want to get out of it, that you really are committed to change yourself, right? And this is something that is difficult to come by, difficult to accept, but it all starts there. It all starts with accepting that you are responsible for your own feelings, for your own beliefs, right? I mean, if you have an unhelpful belief, I'm gonna make another video about that, limiting beliefs. It's very, very powerful stuff. But the limiting beliefs, they actually keep you in a certain place, and until you make these beliefs conscious, you don't have a choice to decide whether you want to believe it or not, right? But when you make them conscious, and there is a process to making them conscious, and it takes some work, you gotta pay attention, you gotta question yourself, you gotta ask yourself questions, you gotta be willing to dig deep, right? But whenever you make them conscious, then you can decide, okay, I want to believe this or I don't, and then whether you want or you don't, you can then change the beliefs, or condition yourself to believe something else. And there's a whole process behind that, and it's still something that I'm trying to figure out. It's not easy, it takes time, it takes work, it takes conditioning, right? Because your whole life you have maybe believed that you are unlovable, or you're unworthy, or you're not good until you do X, right? And you have been conditioned for years and years and years, and your mind keeps telling you that, hey, you are not worthy if you don't earn X amount of money, or if you don't do this, or whatever it is, right? Everybody has their own beliefs. So it will also take some time to recondition yourself believing something different, believing a more helpful set of beliefs, right? And this is something that you can ask yourself on a daily basis. Is this serving me? Is this belief serving me? Is this person serving me? Whatever it is, it's a good question to ask yourself whenever you find yourself in a position or stuck in a loop, or is this helpful? Is this serving me? If you think of yourself as somebody who's unworthy, does that belief serve you? No, of course not. And you kind of know it, but asking yourself this question and like really being honest and upfront about it, it's helpful, because then you face the facts. You realize, no, this is not helpful, and hey, I don't want this. And then it's not easy. It's not easy to change these beliefs. It takes time, like I said earlier. But once you call them out, right, and then you decide on, okay, I don't want this anymore, I want something different, then you can actually start to incorporate new beliefs, helpful beliefs, things that make you grow, things that cause you to radiate towards others, to help them, to become a better person, basically, right? So um, by figuring out these beliefs and then addressing them and looking for another set of beliefs that's way more helpful, and then you want to look for evidence that supports that belief. And a way to do this is actually sit down 1 second. And for instance, a common limiting belief is, I am unworthy. Okay, is this belief helpful? No, it's not, because it prevents you from living the life you want to live. It prevents you from being happy, from being fulfilled, right? It's not a helpful belief. Okay, so you ask yourself the question, is this helpful? No, it's not. All right, then what are some things that prove that you actually are helpful? Like, right? Try to look for 3 things. Maybe uh, you have friends that care about you. You take good care of your pet. You are good at drawing stuff, right? These are all things that prove that you are actually worthy, right? And there's so many mosquitoes here. It's very annoying. I hope I will not end up being completely covered in bites. Anyways, right? So you try to look for at least 3 things that prove that you are worthy. And the more you look for these things, do this on a daily basis. If you want to change pick one limiting belief, one that you found out about yourself. Pick one, and then look for evidence that debunks this belief. And do this every day, and you will find that eventually you recondition yourself, and you then no longer think that the old negative belief is true, because he has so much counter proof that proves that it's not true, that this limiting belief is not true about yourself, right? And at first it feels very weird, right? It feels very difficult, like how I feel so weird writing about what I'm good at or why I'm worthy. It feels a little bit weird, but you will get more comfortable with it over time. I promise. It's just it takes some adjustment, because you are used to telling yourself you're worthless, you're shit. You used to constantly like judge yourself for so many things, and then it's so weird to say something good about yourself, to think these thoughts. It's weird. It feels unnatural, but it will come over time. And pick things that you are convinced that you think are true. Like, you cannot deny that you have maybe a few really good friends who care about you. Well, that is perfect. Like pick that one, pick that proof, and with time you can come up with more um, more difficult things that, I mean, the things that you more difficult believe, like, oh, these people really love me or whatever it is, right? So like beliefs that are right now maybe difficult to believe, but over time you will tend to believe them more easily because you gather so much more evidence with other things you already believe, and that way you will be able to change these beliefs like very very profoundly, and it will take some time. That's all right. Take your time, take as much time as you need, because there is no point in rushing it, because then it's not going to work, right? If you try to force it, rush it, it's not going to work. You will install a doubt in yourself. It will not be a true core transformation. You will not internalize it. It will just be a surface thing, and it will break at the slightest blow of wind. You want to take your time to build a foundation. It's going to take time, brick by brick, every day, and then by conditioning yourself, then you will build a strong foundation. Then you will find that this belief is starting to become unshakable, and that's what you want. You want to make it unshakable over time by reinforcing every single day the things you believe about yourself, and then adding things on top of that, and go look for ways to find even more evidence, right? Like, go do something nice for a person, and then when they say that they really appreciated that, and even if they don't say it, just do it because you are convinced that this is what a good person does, right? Like, another way to look at it is, if you have this belief, I'm unworthy, okay, then think about, what does a person who is worthy look like? How do they behave? What do they do? What activities do they engage in? What behavior do they have, right? And then figure out a way to do this yourself. Like, for instance, for me, a person who is worthy of love is somebody who gives love, somebody who supports others, somebody who shares, who creates, who is kind, who's compassionate, all these things. That is, in my opinion, somebody who's worthy of love. And a way to really come up with a set of characteristics for a person like that is to think of one of your best friends, right? Because you love them. You love your best friend. Absolutely, 100%. You love your best friend, and think about the things that they do or have which make you love them, and why they are a person worthy of love. And then try to translate those for yourself. Try to translate those characteristics for yourself, and that's going to make it easier to come up with a list, because sometimes it's very difficult to say good things about yourself, like, I am kind, I'm compassionate. It feels a little bit weird if you don't believe it. But with time, you will start to believe it. But it's easier to look for characteristics of a friend, somebody you already love, and then you can. It's easier to transfer them to yourself. So think of a person that is worthy of love, and then look for those characteristics, and then behave like that person would in your mind. Think of how that person would look and act and feel like, and then start to do that every single day. Even if it's just a little bit, be a little bit more kind, be a little bit more compassionate, do something nice for someone you love, or for a stranger, whatever it is. Just act in line with the person who is worthy of love. Act in line with it every single day, and I promise you, you will start to gain more trust. You will start to feel a lot more secure. You will start to see what is gonna be, what is gonna become. You will slowly become. Actually, you will become this person. You will really feel it. You will really know that it's true because you act on it, and actions always speak louder than words, always. So whenever you act on the things you set out, on the beliefs you want to reinforce, whenever you act out these things, that is so powerful. That's one of the most powerful messages to yourself, to your subconscious, to your whole system, that this is real, this is true, this is real. I am worthy of love because I am kind, because I'm compassionate, because I help my friends or strangers, because I do this and this. And it's for you, right? It's personally for you, whatever it means to be a good person. For me, these are things that are very important: kindness, compassion, respect. All these things, for me, they mean that you are every person is actually worthy of love. This is a very dangerous statement to make, but I do believe that's the fact. Like, people who do very, 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 very bad things usually are just so messed up because of their upbringing. They never actually became aware, and they were just unfortunate to not be able to challenge their beliefs, etc. Of course, some people are just complete psychopaths, and I'm not counting those people. You know, like their brain is just not functioning well. But most people, when they do nasty things, it's because they feel so stuck and they feel completely unable to change themselves. And this is also one of the big reasons why I'm doing this, right? Because creating these videos, talking to you about it, because I believe that by sharing these things, by sharing these tools, and by trying to inspire others to become better, we can prevent things like this from happening. You know, if you teach someone to deal with the negativity, to deal with the depression, to deal with all these difficult feelings, if you teach them how to do it, then they will not feel the need to use all the energy that's inside them for negative things, for to destroy, to cause, to wreak havoc. You know, then they will learn to foster this energy and to direct it in a positive direction, because you reach them the tools, and that's so important, right? Because somebody might be willing to change themselves or to look for solutions, but if they don't find the right tools, then they continue to feel stuck, and they get frustrated, and they do nasty things, right? But if you provide them the tools, and that's why I want to provide you all the tools you need, or all the tools that I use and that were very, very helpful for me, and I discovered them through other people talking about them. So that's why I want to share this with you, because I believe that it's of tremendous value to allow people to change themselves, to to become better. And it helped me tremendously during my journey, and I'm still walking the path. You know, I'm not the know-it-all person, not at all. That's not what I intend to sound like even. I share my journey, my story, the way I am progressing, the way I deal with things, the things that help me, and I hope by doing that I can help you. You know, because people are always on their journey, and maybe there's someone here, and then there's someone here, and someone there, and they can all learn from each other, right? So that's why I'm doing this. But to come back to my original point, so yes, look for evidence that supports your new beliefs. Look for ways to act like the person you want to be, like the person you think is worthy of love. And you are already worthy of love, 100%. 100%. It's just that you don't yet believe it. So go look for evidence that makes you believe it and act it out. Really act on it. And then you will give such a powerful, powerful message to yourself, to your subconscious, that you actually are that person, and that is priceless. That is very, 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 very powerful, very valuable for you to realize that it is possible. It really is possible. You just gotta sit down and take the time to look inwards. You know, to question yourself, to find ways to reinforce the positive beliefs, and they're all personally to you, right? I cannot say what works for you. I can only say the general framework of things, and then you have to fill in the specifics, because everybody on this planet is unique, completely unique. There is no other you. It's impossible, because the influences, like you growing up, your genetics, your whole environment, everything amounts to you being you, and it's 100% unique, and there is no other, not even similar person like you, because maybe like they you are similar in some ways, but in other ways you're completely different, and that's what makes it so amazing, right? That's the beauty of things. Like, we are all so unique, and there is inherent value in that, right? So that's also something that you can try to keep in mind, that I am valuable because of my uniqueness. I have something to add to this world simply because I am alive, right? So on that note, I kind of want to end this video. It's been nice to talk about this like this. I've enjoyed it very much, and I hope that it will at least help some of you out there. and feel free to again reach out, comment down below. I'm more than happy to hear from you and chat about this, because this is really what I'm so passionate about. This is 100% me, and it feels so good to finally just do it. It feels so good to finally just do it, and to let it out, to share it. It's amazing. So I highly recommend you try it out yourself. If you feel like you would like to share things with others, just take out your computer and start recording. It feels amazing. It feels absolutely amazing. So on that note, thank you for being brave. Thank you for looking inward. Thank you for making yourself and thus the world a better place, one step at a time. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.